In this video, I'm going to show you how to build and manage reviews using Metaobjects to build sections like this and this and this. Reviews are one of the most common things clients ask for, whether it be a quote from a happy customer shown on the homepage, the product page, or maybe a dedicated testimonial section. And further to that, it's important to be able to handpick reviews and not let them auto-generate, which is something we can do with a reviews Shopify section. However, here's the problem. Say we've got a handful of reviews and they show up across 3 sections on your site, a slider, a grid, and I don't know, maybe a spotlight section. Without a shared source, that's the same quote, name, and rating typed in by hand over and over everywhere it appears. Let's say the client asks you to swap out a review or fix a typo in a customer's name. You're not making one change, you're hunting through every section on every page, finding every place that review shows up and fixing it by hand. And embarrassingly enough, I've been there before. Metaobjects can fix this. You create each review once as an entry and every section just references it. In the future, all you'll need to do is update the entry and then every section referencing that entry will also update. So without further ado, let's hop into the screen and build our first review Metaobject. Alrighty, so the first thing we're going to do is create our first Metaobject. So what we'll want to do is go over into settings and then scroll down over into meta fields and Metaobjects, and then scroll down to Metaobject definitions, and then you're going to want to add a definition. So for this, what I'll call it is review Metaobject, but obviously you could call this review. Then there's a few key variables you'll want to fill in. The first one is star rating, and then this will be single line text. The next one will be review count text, which will also be single line text. Then we'll want review, which will be single line text, and then we'll have name, just single line text, and then also date, which will be single line text as well. Then down here, what you'll want to do is just make the display name our review, just so it's a little bit easier to pull up, and then hit save. Then the next thing we'll want to do is fill out our Metaobjects. So if we go over into content and then Metaobjects, we might just have to refresh here. You'll notice that we now have this review of Metaobject and we can add in an entry. So for the star rating, this just needs to be a value between 1 to 5. So I'll just make this 4.8, for example. For the review, I'll just say this is an awesome product that I absolutely love, and the name we'll put Jessica L, and then that will be today's date, so I'll put July 10th 2026, and then hit save here. Great. So to save you some time, what I'm going to do is just create a few just so you don't need to watch me, and I'm just going to start duplicating as well. So awesome. So you'll notice here that we have a few different entries, which is exactly what we need. And now what we can do is hop over into our theme and then click edit theme. Now, before we start to place the entries in, one thing I want to mention is you can use the sections I'm about to show you all from my library called Flexi. I'll leave a link to that in the description of this video. And essentially with Flexi, you can download the sections that I'm showing you, and they're professionally built all by me. But if you do want to build your own section, I also do have a whole series of videos where you can prompt your own sections using AI and then use those sections. Further to that, all that you'll really need to do is tell your AI agent which Metaobjects or which fields in the Metaobjects you would like to reference. And so take a screenshot of the Metaobjects we just filled out and then put that into ChatGPT or Claude or whatever is new when you watch this video. But back to the video over here. If we go over to one of our testimonial cards, what we can do is actually click into this card, and you'll notice I started to fill out Metaobject already. But what we can do is connect the dynamic data and then go review Metaobject, and then we can select this entry over here, and then you'll notice our star rating populates with 4.9, and then we can also pop in our review. So again, we'll connect the dynamic source, and then we'll call this review, and then for the name, we can delete this field, connect the dynamic source, put in our name, and of course we would do the same with the date as well too. So connect the dynamic source and then pop in the date. You'll notice that we have our first review populated with the Metaobject, which is really, really awesome. Now, one thing to note is if we would like to reuse the section on different pages, we can actually copy this section by going over into the section level, hitting copy here, and then pasting this section onto another page. And you'll notice that if we duplicate this section, and what makes meta objects really powerful with this method is that we could actually use the meta object we created on another section. So I might have one down over here somewhere. And now besides this testimonial card, we can actually use this meta object in another section, which is really cool. So I'm just going to type in reviews here. And this review statements or review slider section, we can drop in. And then let's say we wanted to fill out this card here, which is different than our section below. It actually uses the same fields, which is really powerful. So again, we can remove our review text, go in here, go in our review meta object, and then add in our review as well, and then add in our name, and then obviously the same with the date, which is really awesome. Just to kind of fast forward a little bit in the video here, I have also this product page, and what I've done is gone ahead and pasted in my review section that is linked to the meta object in this page. And now what we're able to do is if we edit the entry inside the meta object, it'll actually update both in that testimonial section on our homepage and now in this reviews section on our product page. So let's go ahead and update the meta object. So if we go into content, reviews, and meta object, what we're able to do is go in here, and now instead of it saying love it, we can say I really love it and hit save here. And then let's go back into our theme. And now you'll notice that the text updates to I really love it. And now if we go over to our homepage, we should also see the text reflect. Yeah, there you go, right there. I really love it. One powerful tip that I want to leave you on is that if we go into our content and meta objects, I've gone ahead and, just started to add in random names and whatever. But let's say after a few months, someone wanted to update to the newest review. Well, we could go in here and then just update this review over here, change the review text, the name, the date, and the star rating with a more recent review. And then that would reflect across the entire site, which again, saves us a ton of time from going into each individual page, tracking down the section, and then trying to update the content. Anyways, hope you found this video useful. And if you're curious more about my section library that I built, I will link that video up here.